Hi guys, so it's been a while, but we were on page 17 of this book. We're in the middle of something and we're just going to catch up from where we left off. The truth is, there's something amazing going on here. Think about it. Since Medina Israel, the state of Israel has been established, its citizens are expected to serve in the army. Every couple of years, every couple of years there is wars which our soldiers, whether they be Sadir or whether they be Miluim. Sadir is the standard 3 years or however long the mandatory service is. Miluim is national service, the period after of a month a year, in normal situations and in war, months upon months of service. And so too, just in normal day-to-day protecting of Israel, right? When there's no wars going on, where on the border or in Yehuda v'Shomron, people fall. כלומר, שירות עמך בית ישראל צריכים אחת לכמה שנים ומדי תקופה לעמוד מול המציאות כשהם מוכנים למסור את נפשם למען האומה. And that means that what? Tens of thousands of people among Am Israel are needed every couple of years and every now and again to לעמוד מול המציאות, to stand in front of the reality, כשמוכנים למסור את נפשם למען האומה. With the willingness, they stand there with the willingness to sacrifice their lives for the sake of the nation. כמה קדושה וטהרה. There's a huge amount of holiness and purity. כמה רוממות נשמתית. How great is the romumut nishmati, the heavenly, the romumut, the elevated spiritual soul that is coming out. Yotzet lefoa b'chizyon hamufla hazeh, right? So we have romut nishmatit, amazing. The amazing soul is expressed through what? Yotzet lefoa b'chizyon hamufla hazeh. Right? So, day to day, we don't necessarily see the uniqueness of the Neshama Yehudi, Yisraeli. However, by the fact that we met with a situation that Am Yisrael have to fight wars, then we're faced with the reality that what? Pam achar pam, that we are moser nefesh, or we're expected or called to sacrifice one's lives, possibly, and therefore that proves that what? The Ramut Nishmatit, the uniqueness or the elevation or the highness of our souls. And when the survivors, which the vast majority do survive, return from war, the vast majority, he uses an expression from the Gemara, Ruba Deruba, the majority of the majority, and he says Deruba again, meaning the vast majority return from war. Almost everyone returns healthy and complete. Then one's whole life has a different value, because now you've declared, in your very essence, you're willing to be moser nefesh, sacrifice one's life for something greater than you. Are willing to sacrifice yourself, and therefore your life, even when you're not sacrificing your life, gets a whole different meaning. Adam shibirer la'atzmo b'fu'al v'tormem lema'ala hazot, man who is clarified for himself in practice and has elevated himself to this level, shu chai chaim shel mesiut nefesh, he lives now a life of sacrifice, leman Hashem v'torato v'amo, for the sake of God, His Torah and His nation. Hu adam shichyeh et chayav hayom yomim b'rama acheret, he's someone who will also live his day-to-day life in a different way as well. Zog gam hasiba shebedor zeh chutz miyichidim gam chachamim tzrichim להתגייס לצבא. Says Rav Eli Sadan, this is the reason why in our generation, aside from very unique people, yichidim, very unique and special people, even Talmidei Chachamim should go to the war, or should draft and go to the army. Ela, so he says, לצבא. אם לא לשלוש שנים, אז לפחות לעשות מסלול מלא. להצטרף לכוחות הלוחמים ובזמן המלחמה. אפילו חתן מחדו כלה מחופתה. Says, even Chachamim should go to the army, and if it's not for Shalosh Shanim, at least to do the maslul, the whole training, and to be part of the Kochot HaLochamim, the fighting force. So then in times of war, then they can join. Avilu Chatan, because it says in the Rambam, and this is how he rules, the Nechemet Mitzvah, Avilu Chatan Mechedova Kala Mechupata. Even a Chatan from his room, his marriage room, and Kala Mechupata, and the Kala even would have to leave her Chuppah to go to war. Now, with regards to women go to the army, we're putting that aside. Most, the vast majority, if not all, Rishonim understand that Mechupata doesn't mean that she goes to war, rather she leaves the Chuppah to help the army as opposed to actually going to war. The condition when someone is in the army is a whole different ball game, in a nafshi way, in a ruchani way, and a moral way, and musari way. Mesut acher is a whole different reality. Don't listen to the cynical words which are spread apart. Which seep through like poison. Don't listen to these cynical words. Don't listen to the words that, oh yeah, the army, it erodes you religiously. You're eroded religiously. Don't listen to those words. Says Rav Eli Sadan. It's possible you can get eroded spiritually. Come on, just like in university, you can get eroded spiritually. Come on, basakim, also in business. Come on, yeshiva, and even in yeshiva, you can get eroded spiritually. In all these cases, whether it be university, whether it be in business, or even in yeshiva, and also in the army as well, obviously, you can get eroded. But who gets eroded? Those who aren't willing to grab themselves, or right, to take hold of themselves, and work hard to elevate oneself. Right? You have to work hard, otherwise you slip back. But that happens anywhere. He's trying to make a point, like saying I won't go to the army because I'll get eroded is like saying I'm not going to do anything in my life because there's a chance I'll get eroded. Okay, so make yourself strong and then go to the army. Make yourself strong and go into business. You can't prevent yourself just because of doubts. So you get rid of those doubts and rather grow and rise yourself up and make yourself better. And then you won't get damaged along the way. Dangers and weaknesses are found in every place. There's dangers and weaknesses in every place. However, says Rav Eli Sadan, the army, however, in its very foundation, is a place for Avodat Hashem, for servitude of God. Masuga yoter elyon, in a very elevated way. Im hakedusha yoter elyona, with a special level of holiness. Adam shemasim et derachav lefi rayon zeh amur litkadesh. Someone who sees the army and his military service in this way, that is a place to strengthen oneself, and this place to do a mitzvah, and this place for spiritual growth and for holiness, then if he takes the army in that way and sees the army in that way, then he will become sanctified. Litchazek, litromem, litalot b'tzava. He will be sanctified, he will be strengthened, and he will elevate himself in the army. Right? It's all about how you see it. If you see it in the wrong way, then obviously you're going to fail. If you see it in the positive way, then you have a chance, a fighting chance. Okay, one more paragraph. The same idea relates to the quality of work. Since we're dealing with such an incredible mitzvah, since it's a great mitzvah, then we have to make sure we're doing it the best. So what's the mitzvah we're talking about? Defending Am Yisrael. So that translates into being the best soldiers we can be. In biyachas the mitzvot tefillin yesham klalim shazirut zrizut nikiyut tara prishut chasidut. If with regards to the mitzvah of tefillin we have the idea of vigilance, alacrity, cleanliness, purity, abstinence, and piety, he's alluding here to the different levels written down in Messiah Sharim, path of just. Klomar, shlavim behem anu olim b'avodat Hashem. Just like in Tefillin, you have levels of how you grow when doing a mitzvah. And you're not just supposed to be doing it because of vigilance, but you're supposed to be doing cleanliness and alacrity, or vigilance, alacrity, cleanliness, purity, abstinence, piety. There's different levels of performing mitzvah. You put on tefillin when you're 13, you have certain ideas. But when you grow and you learn more, you're supposed to connect more to the mitzvah and do it for the deeper reasons, more and more and more. So that's with regards to tefillin. Also with tefillah, mitpalim v'od. So too, he says, Rav Eli Sadan, for sure, if the tzavah, going to the army, is a mitzvah, then you must have these same ideas and these same general rules that you have to have when going to the army: vigilance, alacrity, cleanliness, purity, etc. Gamzu avodat Hashem. So going to the army is also serving God. Gam b'tzavah yesh shelo l'shem shamayim. Also in the army, there are those who do it not for the sake of heaven. If shalechafef, you can do it half-heartedly. Do it, just tick the box. L'sabin, it comes the word to soap, but here it means just doing the bare minimum. La'avir et hazman, just count the days going by. L'sport ha'yamim ad ha'shichur or l'chilufin l'tametz b'shvil ha'chumta. So that you can have the negative doing the bare minimum, or you can have the opposite, doing full blown, but doing it for the kumta, for the red beret, for the sikaf, the pins, for the 2 dot istainut, for the awards of excellence and stuff. Bishvil hadaga v'kyotzebo, or even for the rank, right? Avad im navin shezo avodat Hashem hayoter elionah sheyesh. If we understand this is the highest level of serving of God, right? This is not mysterious nefesh by learning Gemara, which is also important. This is full-blown mysterious nefesh. When you put on your army uniform, you're going out, even on a patrol on the Jordan border, which is a quiet border, you're literally in danger of life by doing it. And therefore, it's a whole different ball game of Avodat Hashem. As nishtadel itzten b'chol davar, and then we're going to seek to excel in all these things. Lo b'shul lekabel chanich mitzten, not so we can get the award of excelling chanich, excelling soldier who's learning to be a soldier. Lo b'shvil etzet after, not so we can get a few extra days off as a reward. Kipras alitzayinut v'lo b'shvil lahalech im notzot shel tavas dargot v'sikot leminem ela mitzad emet. Not so we can get all the, like I said, the medals, the sikot, the pins. We're not doing it for that. Yesh lishma v'yesh lo lishma. There is doing some of the sake of the mitzvah and doing some stuff not the sake of the mitzvah. Yesh gam shemitoch shelo lishma ba lishma. There's people who do mitzvot not for the sake, but eventually becomes the sake. Right? That's an idea in Chazal. Shemitoch shelo lishma ba lishma. Do it not for the right reason, eventually you'll do it for the right reasons. Gam b'tzavah yocholim liot of day tzavah shelo lishma. Toch shelo lishma ba lishma. You can get to the army, do it for the wrong reasons. You fight to get into Magalan for the perks, for the people who are going to respect me more. And then once you're there, you understand why you're really there. And you're there for Klal Yisrael, and then that changes. It can happen. Says Rav Eli Sadan, just like with regards to Limud Torah and all the other mitzvot, we make an effort to do things l'shem shamayim, for the sake of the mitzvah, for the sake of the heavens. Kach v'dai shegam b'tzavah anu mitamtzim kama she'efshar shetei avodatem l'shem Hashem yibach. So too in the army, for sure we can make sure as much as possible that we are doing things for the sake of the Holy One. Blessed be He, Hashem Yitbarach. Shach guys.